Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I've got actor Babak Tafti with me. Did I get that close? Was that pretty close?
It's pretty close, but it's Babak Tafti.
Babak. Oh, you know, I took a few shots at it before we got on, and I think it changed every time I said it.
I mean, it's one of those ones, it's a two-syllable, but it's tricky because emphasis is like the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Babak.
See, what I usually say is like, it's like saying bar back, and then you just take out the R.
Oh, so like Babak. Barback.
Great.
Babak. I'm going to practice.
Okay.
I think it's a very Hollywood name.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think that's not one. I'm assuming that you didn't change it. So
no, man.
Yeah. I don't think you need to. I think it's a very, you hear that and you're like, that's a leading man in Hollywood.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll take that. That's right.
It's like, forget that Yahoo in West Virginia that can't pronounce anything. That's a solid name.
Screams Hollywood, man. That's right.
Babak.
That's right.
Babak.
Barback. Like a barback.
Barback. Babak.
Nailed it. You just nailed it.
Babak.
Oh my God, that was so good. That's perfect.
I just need
better than a lot of my teachers. It's great.
I just needed, I needed some coaching.
I mean, you nailed it. You're going all the way, man. You did it.
Now, whether or not I can repeat it, we'll see.
All that matters is you got there, right? That's good.
Well, name aside, such a fan of yours. So happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
You're and I was telling you off camera, we had Annie Chang on that is in Super Pumped with you, that's getting ready to come out, and she was just raving about the job that you did on there, and I was like, I know who this is because you show up on so many shows that I love, and you're always great. You're always terrific on it, and that's what I was telling her. I was like, I'm not surprised. I knew at some point because my wife and I will be watching, and I'm like, one of these days I need to get him on the show because he's going to end up being really big. And there you go. So according to Annie, she's like, your time is like right now.
Oh, that's super sweet. Thank you, man. I mean, she's also the sweetest, most incredible thing ever. So
yeah, she really is. Just so nice.
So nice. So nice. And like ridiculously talented. Just ridiculously talented. But never, carries that with her. Some people who are like super talented, they like let you know they're super talented. No. She just comes in casual, just super gracious, super lovely. Just
I know. She's the best. She like you were helping me with your name. She was trying to help me with Mandarin. It was not going any better. It's not going any better.
What specifically in Mandarin were you trying to do?
Well, so my wife, I was telling you, she works for Live Nation. So she worked the 2008 Olympics over in Beijing. So before she went, it was Rosetta Stone for months. She's trying to learn to speak it. And so me and the kids ended up picking up some phrases and stuff, but none of it stuck with me. They can probably still speak some of it. So I told her, I was like, the only one that I really need to know is I'm sorry, because that's probably what I'm going to have to say most of the time. So she was trying to teach me that.
But did you get it? You got it?
No.
No.
It just sounded like I was just shushing. It was just shh the whole time. And that wasn't it. That wasn't. But I was fascinated listening to her. I mean, it was, she was very fluent with her Mandarin. So it was very nice. I think I was telling her, it's a very lyrical language. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's kind of musical to listen to. And so I'm always impressed when people can speak multiple languages.
I mean, tell me about it, man. Oh,
yeah. Not a talent that I have. Do you speak another language?
I wish. I think I speak two, but that's the amount of Farsi.
No, that's pretty good.
Spanish I know. So like, if you put those together, maybe it's like, I can kind of speak two. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Like I can understand some words in some different languages, but I know enough to be dangerous.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Okay.
But I'm smart enough not to try to speak it. You know what I mean? That's what I said. I was like, just teach me to say I'm sorry, because that's probably what I'm going to make the most use of. Sorry, I've got us way off track. So let's back up. Let's start here. You know, tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. How'd you go about becoming an actor?
I mean, I was always just a big film nerd, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, huge film nerd, just nonstop. And I think that was kind of my gateway, a little bit of the gateway drug into that, because like I think I wanted to be a film director originally.
Very nice.
Yeah, like out of high school, I wanted to do that, and for like a few other reasons, I ended up just not quite pursuing that yet, and going for like core classes. Yeah. And one of those was theater, and I dabbled with it in high school, as like I think a lot of people did, but I never thought of it as like the way or the go-to, you know. And I don't know. It's one of those things where you just come upon people who see something in you that you don't see yourself. And I had a mentor there who just saw something in me and just like said, maybe you should give it a go. And I kept doing it. Yeah.
So when you first started, were you just doing theater and then crossed over into television, movies, that type of thing?
Like in a professional kind of sense?
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. I mean, I did a guest star here and there at the beginning, I think, but full on theater. Yeah, that's like my first love for sure. Yeah.
Do you sing? I mean, were you doing musicals?
No, and thank God, because nobody needs to hear that. I mean, I had 3 years of grad school with like the best singing teacher ever and the most patient one. And my God, it just did not tick. It did not tick at all. So
you have to know your limitations.
That's right. And I fully accept that. I mean, I've always wanted to sing like Chris Cornell, you know what I mean? But I just know, some people are just blessed with stuff.
That's right. That's right. Maybe you could do the speak singing like Shatner and some of them do.
You know, that's not a bad idea. That's right. A little Esperanto kind of speaking, kind of. Yeah, that's right. Not a bad idea. That's right. I kind of got rhythm. I think it could work, maybe.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need. It's all about what's going on in the background. You know, if everything's good in the background, it'll cover up anything that you're.
That's right. You just gotta. That's so true. That's so true. If you just got a little swing with it yourself, maybe people are just looking at you dancing.
I mean, that used to be a thing. Like back when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, actors they would release songs all the time, and none of them could sing. But they didn't sound that bad.
I remember this is like maybe like a VH1 like behind the music or like an era thing, but like did Bruce Willis come out with an album at one point?
Yeah. Bruce Willis had an album. Patrick Swayze had some songs out around Dirty Dancing. You know, he put some songs out. I mean, they didn't sound that bad, but I'm sure that if you just heard him singing, you'd be like, all right. There's probably something to be said that there was just the one. He put the one out.
That's fair. That's true. That's very true. I mean, I think if auto-tune came earlier, who knows? Who knows?
I mean, John Travolta has had a few songs out. And he's not terrible, though. He's actually pretty good.
He's pretty good. That man has some training. You know, it's the guy from Greece. Like, come on.
I mean, if you can sing with Olivia Newton-John, you're not bad. You're probably
bad. That's right. You can hold your own. That's right. That's for sure. Yeah.
How about a musical instrument? Did you play an instrument growing up?
I played drums for like 6 months. 6 months. I got the whole set. My friend Jimmy Kostoviak was like, "We're gonna start a band," and I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna start a band." Got the whole set, everything. I think it took me literally 6 of those months to learn how to use a hi-hat. So, I know that I just stopped. I got like idea of like 4 times, and I was like, okay, I can carry this simple beat. And then it just was like, no, it's just not going to go any farther. Yeah. So
if you had to play a drummer on a TV show, though, could you fake it?
How good is this drummer?
He's not very good. I guess he's not very good.
He's not very good because I'm like, I can't do no like Tommy
I don't.
Lee, you know.
Yeah. I don't think he like. Yeah, you wouldn't have to actually play, but maybe for a second or two, you'd have to look like you're.
Yeah, I would say on the scale of like the movie Whiplash and a kid just banging on a drum, I think I'm like a little bit towards the kid on the banging on the drum part, but I think I could do it. I think I could do it. Like I could totally be like, that's a hi-hat. That's a pedal. Ugh. See, even right now, I don't even know if I know the lingo.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I've got grandkids, and it sounds like they're on about that level.
Oh my God. Maybe they can give me lessons actually then. My God. Yeah. Oh, so bad.
So what was when you first got a non-theater role, what was it?
My first non-theater role was, well, it's interesting, man, because like before grad school, I was in New Mexico, right? So I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they had like what do you call it? They got those tax incentives or whatever. If you like brought a movie or anything,
right,
and you hired like local people, you would get a tax break of some kind. So thankfully, I was a local, and I think the first ever non-theater thing I ever did was the role of, oh man, it's like intense, but like the role of an Iraqi soldier or someone being tortured in the movie In the Valley of Elah by Paul Haggis.
I've seen you in that.
Really?
That's a rough role to have as your first role.
Tell me about it. Oh my God. I mean, but like, what a thing. I was just like, Paul Haggis, like, once again, movie nerd. And I think Roger Deakins shot that film. And I was just like, I don't even know if I knew 100% all this at the time, but I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're going to say no to that. That's awesome.
Come on. Yeah. So like, I wouldn't say it was a speaking role, but it was certainly a role that I think in the movie was of some significance because of like his son and him searching for his son, and like his son, I mean, spoiler alert, ended up doing that to me. Yeah, so that was like great. And then like a lot of day player stuff. Like I did Terminator Salvation.
Yeah. That's the one I was gonna guess that maybe it was Terminator Salvation that was your first one, but
like I don't even know if I'm in that movie. Like I'm in the credits, and then I went.
That's all that matters. When you're starting out, that's all that matters.
Literally, I was just like, okay, my name is on a list with Christian Bale. I'm good. There you go. That's all that matters. Yeah. That's it.
Like if I was on social media, that's all I would have was my name in the credits. I'd be like, yeah.
You wouldn't even show your photo of like.
No, just the name. Now I was going to guess that one or Nurse Jackie.
Oh yeah, Nurse Jackie. Actually, oh man, I feel so old now because I can't even remember things. What is this? Nurse Jackie was close to the beginning, specifically after I got out of grad school. That was pretty. Yeah, I don't know if that was the first one, but that might have been the second one or something like that. Yeah, that was a hoot. That was a good time, man. Oh my God, just to be, Edie Falco, that whole cast. I got like the kind of luck of like having a role that had a specific interaction with just about every cast member.
Right.
In this scene, and I was just like, this is so cool. Oh my God. So cool.
I mean, that's pretty good just for like when you're putting together your reel, early on, you got to have those type of things and be like, see, I was on screen. That's
right. My face and Edie Falco's face in the same frame. There you go. That's right.
We're building something here. We've got you and Christian Bale with your names close together. And now we've got your face with Edie Falco.
Oh my God.
So we're building a career right here.
Literally, bit by bit. Oh, that's so good. That's right.
Now you had a role on Secession
Yeah.
that I thought really good, really good. And it's not like that's a small show. I mean, that thing's a monster.
Yeah, it's a beast. Oh my God, it's a beast. And like the dreamiest of dreams to work on, I have to say. The dreamiest of dreams.
Were you a fan ahead of time, like before you were on? Yeah.
My fiance was the first to kind of put me onto it. Like a friend of mine, Arian, who plays Stewie, is in it. And, she was like, you got to watch this scene of Arian's, which is like his first scene. And I hadn't watched any of the show yet. And I watched it and I was like, oh man, I couldn't stop laughing and going like, oh. And I was just hooked from that point on. Like, and I'd been watching it. And so when I got the audition, oh man, it was like a next day audition too. So like, I mean, God bless my fiance, always there. Oh, always there.
That's a good woman.
A good woman. She helped me just like, it was like I think it ended up, I mean, it changed by the time we shot it, but it was basically the scene in the bathroom that I like.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was like chunks and stuff like that. And like, we were just running it. Minutes before, running it with me, like at a cafe next to the actual audition spot. And I was just like, mostly I was just like, I just need to remember the words. Just get me into the, like, you know, stay in there and just let it run out. And thankfully they stayed in there. But it's so funny. Awesome. I remember auditioning for that and I had no idea how it went. Like immediately after that, I had no idea how I went. And then I believe like the casting director was like, it's pretty good. And now mind you, this is like a pretty heavy character in some ways. Like he's like he's a cool guy or whatever.
Yeah.
So she was just like, that was pretty good. And I was like, really? Oh my God. Like I totally just geeked out. You
blew it right at the end. You're supposed to play it cool.
I was full falsetto, like Glee, man. Oh my God. Yeah.
That may have helped you because they were like, man, what a good actor. That's obviously not who he is.
Right. Sure.
How is that? What's that like, you know, practicing at a cafe? You know, what's the wait staff do while you're practicing? Do they just kind of get it because they're used to that sort of thing?
Sure. It's like in New York, man, you as an actor, you kind of just realize that you're just going to be saying words to yourself in every public space, like in the subway, in a cafe or whatever. And I'm pretty sure they just get it by now. I sometimes, I used to just have like my sides with me no matter what, because I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think I was like kind of a little nutty or anything like that. But then as the years went by and I realized what New York was, I was just like, I don't need the papers. I'm just going to talk to myself. No one gives a shit. Like, no one cares at all. No. You know, like, they're doing what they're doing. I'm focused on my phone or whatever.
Yeah. I rode, it's been years ago, but I rode the subway one time and Richard Thomas, who played John Boy on the Waltons. All right.
Totally.
So he's on the subway. And at that time he was on the Americans. So he had a role on the Americans. And so he's sitting across from me and a few other people and just full on practicing some lines to himself. You know, but he's staring right at us.
Oh no,
practicing the lines and stuff, you know, like he's talking to us. Nobody even batted an eye. I'm not even sure anybody else looked up. You know, I'm just staring right at him, you know. I'm like, it's John Boy talking to me, except he wasn't, you know, but everybody else is sitting beside me. I don't even know if they looked up. So I'm like, well, they're obviously used to this sort of thing.
Oh my God. Did you think he was like when did you finally click into like he was talking to you? Like, was it immediate or was there like
No, it took a few seconds. Like I had to stop myself from replying, you know. And then it was just kind of awkward because I don't want to interrupt him.
Right.
You know?
Right. But he's
so then
staring right at you though.
He's staring right at me, not just me, but yeah, he's staring right at me. But then he finished practicing and then just kind of put his head down and was fiddling with his phone or whatever. So I never even spoke to him.
Did you feel like the urge? How are you with like seeing people that you admire like in real life? You go like, hey, like.
Oh yeah. I'm a complete fan, which is why I'd be a
Oh,
terrible actor because I can't turn it off.
oh,
So
I'm the biggest fan. Literally, this is the thing, man. Shooting this show, I was working with so many people I admired. I feel like they must have been like, oh my gosh, Babak, chill the hell out. I get it. We got to do this scene. I know you like this movie that I was in.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. I'm such a fan. I'm never.
It's hard.
So hard.
It's one of like a zillion reasons why I couldn't act, but it's definitely a big one. You know. I felt like later, you know how you are later, like once something happens and then later you're like, oh, I should have said this. I should have said this. I felt like I should have given him some direction. Like he's doing that. And I'm like, that was pretty good, but you know, maybe try it, maybe, bring it down a notch, emphasize this word, maybe.
Oh my God, that would have been incredible. I mean, there you go. Save it for the next time. Next time in the subway, you see, you're bound to see another.
I know. I've been looking for him ever since. He hasn't shown back up.
Oh, classic. Oh my God.
Strangely enough, though, at some point, I don't even remember doing it. At some point, he got off whatever stop and everything, and I had gotten his picture at some point. I don't even remember taking it. So I was like, I've got stuff going on. I don't even know I'm doing it. It's just instinct. It's my fan instinct. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Your body, your arms are just doing things you're not even aware of.
Yeah, I'm not even aware because I was just so engrossed with the performance. I don't know.
Man, you got a full thing, man. That's a pretty good experience. You got a full performance right in front of you.
I got a whole thing. But I watched The Americans and I looked for that. I never did. See the whatever he was practicing at the time. So maybe it wasn't The Americans, but I'm assuming because that's.
He does a lot of stage too.
Maybe it was a stage thing he was working on. Yeah. I don't know. Like, did you, and I may be wrong about this one, but did you show up on Orange is the New Black?
I did. Yeah. I had a little.
Right.
Yeah. I had this role as an Afghani officer who has a bit of a language barrier with Matt Corey's character. And I think it's like, basically I have this whole kind of thing where we feel like we're connecting because I'm like, man, that was such a funny and weird day. Oh man, because like my character is supposed to be filming a whole dance sequence to, I think, Gwen Stefani's Bananas or something like that. And I
was pretty sure that was you. It's been a while. It's been a while since I watched that one.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Yeah, watching. Yeah, I'm like filming them, and then my character decides to zoom in on the female soldier's chest area.
Yeah.
And then he gets in trouble. He gets talking to Matt McGorry because he's such a sweetheart. Comes over, tries to console me. I don't understand half of it, so I kind of And then another spoiler alert. I end up trying to save the day, I think, with like this like grenade for my fellow Afghani officer who's, I guess, like a double agent or whatever you want to call it. And but they end up shooting me because they think I'm the one who's doing something.
What I thought that was you.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's actually a pretty cool role.
Yeah, there's one of those ones where like it wasn't like it's not like multiple scene, blah blah blah, but like there's sometimes you just get these little nugget of roles that can leave an impression. Yeah, that was one of those.
That was really good. I remembered you on the reboot of Murphy Brown. You showed up on there. Yeah.
That was fascinating, man. That was like, I had never done multicam before. Oh man, it was like you're just like walking in there with like, oh my God, Candice Bergen. Like, I mean, like, it's like, yeah. It was such a trip. It's so much fun. So much fun to be like, the one thing that was probably for the best was we shot that before the live audience. So I didn't have to do that in front of the live audience. Like, even though like I have stage experience in like theaters and things, I think because I went to watch the actual taping of it, I think I would have been so nervous. There's something about it that's so nervous. But it was the first time I'd ever seen it live taping, and I was like, oh wait, they actually have hype men. I had no idea.
They got guys that come out and hype up the crowd, right?
I was like, I thought that was just for like parties and stuff. I had no idea that was an actual thing for like television. And then they give pizza to people, like, because the taping takes forever or whatever. I'm like, man, yeah. It's like a whole thing. They take your phones, they bring pizza.
I miss that, because that type of sitcom, it's kind of dying out. There's not that many of them left. And I kind of miss that. I think those are the fun ones.
Yeah, man, it's just like that era of like Seinfeld and
yeah,
all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, I guess CBS kind of has them ish, and I guess
they've got a few. They've got a few,
but there was a lot more. It was like the style back in the day, like in the 90s, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there was a ton of them back then, but they've just kind of they've gotten away from those. I don't know. I think it's a neat part of television. So I hope we don't lose it entirely.
I agree with you. Because there's such fascinating. I don't know. It's just also the idea of like the closest thing to, I don't know, theater that you can have on television in certain ways, which I appreciate. Like if you have live audiences and stuff like that, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Although I will say I went to see Jimmy Kimmel when I was out in LA. Yeah. And it kind of messed it up for me a little bit, because it's very it's kind of staged. They have a guy that comes out and kind of hypes up the audience, which wasn't too bad. But they tell you they've got a sign that comes on when you're supposed to laugh, when you're supposed to applaud, when it's very scripted with that. And I thought, well, that's really weird, because when you're watching at home, it seems so spontaneous.
Totally.
And it wasn't like that. It was very scripted out, even including the audience. I was like, well, I think I'd have preferred not seeing that part of it.
Oh, because you can't unsee it anymore.
Can't unsee it. So now when I'm watching, plus when you watch at home, it seems so big. It's really not. It's a really tiny space. There's not that many people there. It's very kind of enclosed, but when you watch on TV, it looks much bigger. Like the audience seems much bigger. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but for me, I was like, I'd rather not have known that.
I mean, there's certain things when you realize, like when you find out the mechanics of how things work, that can kind of kill the magic for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a film buff. When you got into acting and got to see all the behind the scenes type of stuff, did that make it harder to kind of immerse yourself, as just a person watching something?
Not yet. I mean,
that's good.
It's been so cool. Like I've had a few moments filming where I'm just like turned into a 5-year-old. Like I remember on Terminator Salvation, there was a specific scene where they had us, like, we were doing overnights for like this week or something like that, and they had us all walking through a line with these huge Terminator machines that were kind of
nice
with the wheels on their legs, like the track wheels. And there were like 3 or 4 of them, and we were just literally like shooting this wide shot. So you couldn't see anybody. It's just a bunch of people. But I thought this was the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. Oh my God.
Amazing.
It was like the full-on magic that, I mean, Terminator 2 to me was one of the first R-rated films I had seen. And man.
Yeah, that was probably true for me too. I mean, it was back in the early 90s, I think, when that one came.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So it was probably a little after my time. I was probably more the early 80s when I snuck into an early movie.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Like, but yeah.
Oh man.
I still think that Terminator 2 might be the best one. That's pretty good.
Of all the Terminators?
Of all the Terminators.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think there's like no doubt. Terminator 2 is just like, it's like one of those ones where it's like it kind of changes the game. there's something about the like anxiety and tension that those chase scenes do, and such fascinating characters of like the T2. Like, come on, like it's one of the best villains of all time.
Oh yeah,
and,
for sure.
Like, just like he was like, he could always, I think, pretty much like nail a one-liner, but I don't know, man. It was just tailored to him. T2 was
it totally was.
Like, how many catchphrases came from that? Like, "Hasta la vista, baby."
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
There's a bunch. I mean, Linda Hamilton was amazing.
Oh, geez. Come on. Like, her and like Ripley are like the badass women of action. Yeah, totally.
For sure. You weren't the guy on Salvation that upset Christian, were you?
Oh no. Interestingly enough, I think that all happened in between the 2 weeks that I worked. So I'm like, I mean, like I said, I was like a day player. It was like me and like a group of like a few other actors who are also day players. I think we were mostly with Anton Yelchin, rest in peace. Yeah, we shot like a few days and a few days there, but we never like had Christian Bale. And then this was the second week that I worked, there was just like this weird energy. I don't even know what it was. And then come to find whatever later, like,
he'd had a bad day. But everybody has bad days.
It was a bad day. Like, it was a bad day. It was a combo of like an unfortunate kind of thing with I guess it was the DP maybe, who like kind of went through his like sight line.
Yeah, line of sight. Yeah.
Yeah. Which as an actor, now when I realize what that means, like I'm like, oh yeah, specifically if it's an intense scene, that can really just like jar you.
Yeah, it can throw you off.
So like I can see that, but also like he was having a bad day. I just think he was having a bad day.
I do kind of get it, because like a really intense scene or emotional scene, I mean, it's not like it's difficult to turn that on and off.
Oh,
so if you're in the middle of it and you're in it, and then you got to stop and redo it, that's not always easy. Maybe I wouldn't have got that upset, but I could see where that would be aggravating.
Yeah, like especially if you're feeling like that's the take, or if it keeps happening, like it's one of those ones. Like, and like you're building up all that energy, right? So then you have all this like, intensity and ferocity built up that's like kind of being stemied. So it's still in you. And so I think that's possibly also what that
was one of the like early social media things. You know what I mean? Because now that stuff happens, everybody sees it. There's all, everything's captured, but it wasn't that common at that point. So it was a big deal when you got to see him kind of lose it.
Yeah. It was on all the talk shows. It was everywhere. Oh my God. Yeah.
I think that guy, the one that caused the ruckus, he missed an opportunity, because like if that were me, I would have had like a YouTube channel up immediately where it was just me screwing stuff up. Yeah, I mean, he could have cashed in on that a little bit.
I mean, yes, that's fair. That's right.
It'd be like you just in random places accidentally causing an issue where somebody just goes off on you. So just the whole channel would just be clips of people yelling at him for not doing it intentionally, but just I mean, that would have been hilarious.
Oh man, it's like a form of jackass. That's right. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really
good. And he could have went later. Like I would have approached Christian later and been like, let's do this. Like have something where he's walking out, he's happy, he's walking out of the coffee shop, he's carrying his coffee, and Christian Bale goes by and slaps it out of his hand and just keeps on walking. That would have been hilarious. See, and that would have turned the whole narrative. Then everybody would have been like, all right. Christian gets it. He gets it.
We get it. That's right. You got to.
They should have called me. I could have helped them both.
I mean, there you go. See, maybe you put it out there though, man. That's right. They're gonna come to you. You're gonna be the
I'm the fixer.
guy. That's right. The fixer. Oh, that's so good.
So my mother, I don't watch this show, but she said you were on an episode of Bull.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I always play this game with the family. I go around, I'll be like, here's a picture of somebody that I'm getting ready to talk to. What have you seen them in?
Okay.
So I always like to ask my mom, because 90% of the time she's like, nothing. Yeah, nothing. But she knew you. She was like, he was on Bull. She likes Bull.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
said you did a good job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was fun. I got to play a doctor.
That's what she said.
Yeah, my parents' dreams come true right there, man. Persian, you're either like a doctor or an engineer. So I was like, hey, Mom, look at this. I'm a doctor. So like, the world right there. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh my God. I performed surgery in the beginning. That was a trip, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, she said you were really good. She said, you tell him he was good. I'm like, all right, I'll tell him.
Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Got Mom's stamp of approval. That's pretty good. Well, and you were on the Equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. You've been on a lot of big stuff.
I mean, I've been fortunate with. I've been fortunate with work. I'm one of those people, like, I love it. I love doing it so much. But I also know that it's not an easy life. It can be very much not an easy life. So when work comes your way, I mean, specifically the Equalizer, that's work during the pandemic, everything like that. Like at one point, like everything gets shut down. So like everybody's source of like income at that time, or just
it was rough.
Yeah. So like to have that come my way in that moment was just like it was so nice to just be able to act. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to be on a stage with people and like, doing it.
So then there was a recurring role on Legacies.
Ah, yes.
Right. You were Sphinx.
Yeah. That's oh man, it's one of those ones where I didn't know that it was kind of like a thing I always wanted to do, but playing a monster, pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Fun. Pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It's like the prosthetics and everything, like the monster FX team were incredible. Just like 3.5 hours of just like in the chair, just putting all the things on. Yeah, it's like, but it's so cool. It's so fun.
That's pretty cool. It gives you a Halloween costume forever.
I mean, every time I try to sneak away with, like, they give me like these prosthetic cheekbones. Man, I try to steal those every time.
Have you gotten away with it yet?
No.
Yeah.
They know.
See, let me run this by. I've run this by a few people. Let me see what you think. So this is how I'm going to get into Hollywood, because I can't act. So you've got you have agents, you've got publicists, managers, all of that stuff. I don't want any of that. But after you get a role, I'm going to come in. I'm going to negotiate all the nonsense stuff. So stuff like you get to keep the cheekbones. Be like, he'll do it, but he's going to need 2 sets of these cheekbones when he's done. That type of stuff. That'll be my, I'm like I haven't figured out the name yet, but
you just open up a whole pocket of an industry right there. Oh my
I think
gosh.
so, because everybody always wants the souvenirs or the costumes and stuff, but they never get to keep them.
Ever. Oh my God, that would be so much fun. And also, like, it's the hardest thing for me to figure out what to do for Halloween. If I had that, I would do that every year.
Every year.
Because who's going to top that?
You can't top that. Plus, you could just show up at conventions dressed as Sphinx. I'd just be showing. They wouldn't even have to invite me. I'd just be showing up. I'm here.
Just bring your own chair. Just go in the corner with your own sign.
I haven't figured out how I would get paid yet. I'm not sure how that would work out, since you're, technically I'm negotiating, objects for you, but I'm sure I could figure that out.
That's the small part of it. You have the big idea. It's just
that's right. It's the details we'll have to iron that. But I think there's something there.
I think you're right, Dad. I think you're right.
Can you imagine if after you got a role, you get this role, it's a big show, movie, whatever it is, And then my dumb ass shows up and be like, all right, before we start, I'm going to have to talk to you about the costumes. And be like, oh, you would lose the role and they would kick me out so fast. I'd never be allowed back in Hollywood.
No, man, I'm telling you, you're probably just gonna that's you're the guy who's willing to do it. That's the biggest thing.
I'm willing to do it.
That's it. That's all you need. If you're the guy willing to do it because there is a need, as I just said, I want those cheekbones. If you came
but you gotta be willing to walk away. Like if they're like, no, we're not giving him the cheekbones, I'm like, he's out. That's non-starter.
See, that right there. What you just did, that was awesome. That's it. You just did it. You totally just did it. If someone just saw that, they would have been like, oh yeah, we want him. That's it.
Yeah, we want him. We got to have those cheekbones. Here you go. Be like, I didn't want to give them up. We might need them for something else, but okay. And we don't want just one set. We want 2 sets because, what if something breaks?
It's going to break or it's going to get dirty.
Yeah. You got to hang on to that.
That's right.
So, okay. So let's talk Super Pumped.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the next big thing that's coming out. I'm really excited about the show. So it's about Uber, right?
Yeah. It's about the kind of rise and fall of Uber.
Right.
Yeah. It's so interesting. It's like you follow the Travis Kalanick character, but then I think what's kind of really incredible about the show is that it also shows when he's building this empire, the effects that it has on the rest of the world that he's changing for good or for worse, I'll say. Right. It's just it's a really fascinating, I think, universal kind of theme of when you are changing the world, there's a price that has to be paid generally, and who pays that price? Is it the person who's trying to change it, or is it the people that he's trying to change? I guess in that kind of way. So it's a really kind of fascinating, I think, just study of tech business and these big conglomerates that we have today in general. Yeah. I think
it's a really interesting show, and you talk about an unbelievable cast. It's an unbelievable cast.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, fanning out. Michael, I was fanning
out.
You
had to be.
Oh,
even God. Uma Thurman was in there.
Oh my God. I literally forgot my lines the first scene I did with her. I just couldn't remember these lines. I was like, on. Oh my God. It was I don't know. It's just one of those things when people become real before your eyes that you've kind of just admired on film and television or whatever. Just and a legend. And it's also just so wonderful because Kyle, Joe, Uma, they were just super lovely, just the loveliest people. You know what I mean? That's always nice.
That's nice.
Heroes who are not assholes. You know what I mean? Who are just super generous, down to earth, kind of just great people. I don't know, just you enjoy their company. That's nice. As a person, this is my biggest job to date. This is my first I guess regular, right? Stage regular in this. And so I was there more often. So I was hanging around these people. I'm kind of going to camp, right? You are meeting these people for the first time and you don't know how it's going to be. You're a little anxious and oh, is it going to go well? But you're going there every day. You're with these people. And it's so the greatest gift was my first day being with Kyle Chandler. If there is a real one in the world, it is that man. Yeah. Everything that I would hope Coach Taylor, Kyle Chandler to be, he is just the best. Yeah,
he's such a great actor in everything, not just Friday Night Lights, but everything.
Bloodline, Wolf of Wall Street, Carol, all this stuff.
Yeah, Bloodline, by the way, underrated show. Really good show.
forgotten. Like, I mean, it's so good. Him and Ben Mendelsohn, like,
Yeah.
oh, so good. See,
So,
I'm like fanning out right now.
I know, I love it. I love it. So what's your role? What role are you playing in Super Pump?
I play a guy named Emil Michael, who was kind of like the main business executive / right-hand man of Travis Kalanick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
that's a big role.
Yeah. It was a like I said, the biggest one I had. And like, so I was getting to act with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like constantly, like being his, like, dare I say, his best friend. I don't know. And man,
have you called him since? Like, have you called him up and be like, it's probably work better if we're buddies off stage?
That's the thing, man. I can't, because I'm just like, don't be weird, Babak. Don't be weird, Babak. Like, always in my head, don't be weird. Don't be weird. Be cool. And like, my fiance is like, she told me this and she's so right. Like, I have zero chill. You know what I mean? Zero chill. So I now try to put in my mind this little voice. It's like, just be cool. Be regular. It's cool. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just be friends and like nice, and that's good. Like,
well, she's right.
What's that?
She's right. Yeah.
Be cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's just one of those ones where I was just trying to show restraint about like, fandom, and just being like, I mean,
you think after though he went home and he was like, man, I thought we had a connection, but he didn't want to hang out afterwards or anything.
You can't tell me that, because now I'm going to be thinking maybe he did think that. Should I reach out? I have no idea. Oh God.
He's like, just one time, I wish somebody would come up and ask me to do something after.
Got the wheels turning now, man. You got me on the wheels. Oh, we'll see. I don't want to like commit. I don't want to commit. We'll
see. Maybe he'll see this and he'll be like, oh, okay. And then you'll get the call.
There you go. It's like that indirect kind of thing. This is like kind of like the note at school. Someone passes the note along to the person, like, hey, do you want to hang out? This is the note. There you go.
Oh, maybe I could also add that into my new agent type of role. I could be like the, do you like me? Yes, no type guy.
Oh man, would you just pass the note, or would you?
I'll just pass. I facilitate. Okay.
Be like, the mediator. They should just call you the mediator.
Oh, the mediator. Yes. That's good.
That sounds good. That sounds like.
That's pretty good. I'm going to get you cheekbones and a buddy.
Oh, what more could you ask for? Come on.
That's a pretty good role, mediator.
Oh man, you sound like a superhero now. The mediator.
That'd be the lamest superhero. Come on, guys. Can't we just get along?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty good. When does Super Pump come out?
February 20th,
right? That's what I thought. On Showtime.
On Showtime. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I'm excited, man. I think it touches on like a lot of great things. I mean, obviously it's based on the incredible book by Mike Isaac. Your New York Times tech journalist who, I mean, this book, it's one of those ones where it's so easy to read. It almost plays out cinematically, even though it's based on like actual, like full on journalism, things that have happened. It's just written so wonderfully. Like I would literally listen to the audiobook every day going to set. Like it has.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's so good. And he tackles it from so many different points of view, which I really like. It's not just like the founder and like that's it kind of thing. It's like it's everything that goes into the business from the driver to the top of the mountain, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to it because I remember when all that stuff was happening and you'd read stories, you get bits and pieces about it, but not the whole picture. So I think it's a really interesting show.
Yeah. And I'm excited because, like you said, it's not something that people know about too much. Like there hasn't been like an in-depth documentary or anything like that. That's for like the masses. It's just like you have this incredible book,
right?
But it's still kind of slightly, the details are unknown.
Yeah.
Which is
So
fun.
Annie, she made a point to point you out. She was like, wait till you see his performance.
All right.
So my question is, was there somebody that you were surprised at their performance? Because you're in there with all these big stars, but was there anybody that you were like, hey, they were really good?
I mean, it's like more than one, to be honest with you. That's the thing. It's like,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like obviously, like Joe, Uma, Kyle, like Carrie Bechet, like Elizabeth Shue. These are all like incredible actors and known like commodities in their way. Like you're like, yeah, they're going to be great, kind of thing, right? And they're incredible. But like Annie. Oh, I guess I could choose her, but like it's like you could just tell from the table readings how good it was. You know what I mean? She's just so good. There's just like something. It's one of those things that I always find fascinating when actors do is like they have that layer thing where they can keep that whatever pain or whatever strength or whatever that's going on underneath this like kind of what seemingly is like a neutral kind of point of view on something. Like there's always something under there.
Well, I had told her that I like her acting because she says a lot without saying anything. Like you can read emotions on her body language and face and stuff without her saying anything. And she said that's something that she really works at.
I think that's the keys to the castle for me as far as what I appreciate about actors. It's like when you're listening with that kind of point of view and you're kind of getting that perspective from them, when they don't need words, it's like the most affecting thing I think that I come upon in performance. She's incredible. Like, I mean, oh God. I mean, I'm thinking of my Uberetto guys. We call ourselves the Uberettos because that's what they're called, I guess. It's like the three of you over here.
But, you need T-shirts.
We're thinking about it, man. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Mediator.
That's right. I was gonna say it, but I was gonna let you do it. All right. Like John Bass, Joel Kelly Dotton. Joel's great because like I think this is one of the bigger things that he's gotten in his career, and I don't know. I think that's what I've really been appreciating about like the cast about this is like it's a lot of. I mean, yes, you have your known commodities, but there's a lot of unknowns here too that are really like great. It's just nice to see people that you just don't know anything about kind of do their thing.
It's exciting.
Yeah. And like Joel Kelly Dotton, Noah Weisberg, even though I think Noah was on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. And if you ever want to see an incredible version of a Willy Wonka song, go watch his episode on that. He has a sequence.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. We've actually watched that show. That was
really?
That was another underappreciated show because it was different. It was quirky. It was a good show.
And like to have like a musical like television show like that in that kind of form is really incredible. It's unheard of most ways.
No, it's really good. What I should have asked you was who phoned it in. That's what I should ask you. You've been like, everybody was great, but that Kyle Chandler guy, man, he just didn't bring it. He didn't bring his best that day.
And he's gonna try to they're gonna cut me out of this whole show. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, right. No, I mean, I gotta tell you, man, it was just it's one of those ones where I'm just like, the experience was so lovely because like it was hard. I mean, shooting anything in the pandemic is so hard. Like it's so hard. Everyone is like on alert about like being infected and infecting other people. There's all these like extra steps to everything. It's just there's less of an ability to have like a cohesive like feeling of the cast, right? Generally, because like we're always kind of having to be separate or masked or whatever. But what's incredible about this is like I still felt so close and like kind of relaxed. You know what I mean? By these people. Yeah, like, and that's not normal for me. I'm like an anxious mess all the fucking time, man. I'm telling you. So like the sheer fact of like having this this big thing for me and being able to feel so relaxed and at home with people who I like, oh man, just like absolutely like idolize in a lot of ways. Like there's a lot about the people, you know what I mean? Like,
well, because you know that they're kind of used to that, you know, they get that thing a lot. So, I mean, it probably is better if you rein it in a little bit.
I think so. I mean,
because they probably get that a lot, but that says a lot about them that they're able to not let that. I mean, you know, a lot of people, I think that would go to their heads. So if they're in there and they're just being a person, being a nice, you know, person, that says a lot.
Yeah, totally. Like, and it's just not always the case. So the way they dealt with it and the way I mean, just getting to like these bonds, like I said, I was new to LA, but I feel like I've met, I did get a few friends from it. See, there you go. I did get a few friends.
There you go.
So like, what more could you ask for from an experience?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like, cheekbones, you know, t-shirts.
Yeah. Okay, fair. But that's what you're going to come in for it.
That's why I'm going to fix that. I mean, not this time, but for your next big one, I'll help you out with this.
Great. So we'll just call you. I'll just call you the mediator. I'll just put that in the contract, the mediator, and then we'll start that name going. And then, you know, word of mouth, buddy.
Before I say yes, I'm going to need you to talk to my mediator.
I just want you to like kind of appear like all of a sudden. Just right behind me. Just show up, just like, or like the wolf, or like the Harvey Keitel way.
Hey, that would be pretty cool. I don't know if I could pull that off.
Oh, you could do that. Come on.
Okay. Oh, that's good stuff. Thank you so much for doing this today. This has been the best. This has been the best.
I have to say, this is my first podcast ever, so I appreciate you. Yeah, my first time is with you, my friend, and it's been wonderful. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm so happy that you said that. That means so much to me. And you probably don't need to do anymore. Just be like, nah, I've already done one.
I can just retire after that.
Yeah. You don't have to do anymore.
No, you come on as my mediator. That's the thing.
Oh, I'm in. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. Okay. You know, there's a billion podcasts out there, and there's some really good ones, but there's about 95% that are just they're not the best. Not the best. So hopefully we're one of the, you know, pretty good ones.
You're pretty good, man. As far as just like, I feel it's so lovely. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just, you know, having some coffee, chatting with a friend. You know what I mean?
That's perfect. I'm going to use that because that's what I always say. I was like, it's just a conversation. Nobody wants to have an interview. They want to just have a conversation.
Yeah, man. This is perfect. We got to fan out with you. We got to like think some new career stuff. That's great. Loving that.
I could not have acted with any of them, but I think Uma Thurman. I think that's the one that would have got me. You know,
I mean, she is like, and like the thing is like she's doing something very different in this one, and like, oh my god, to behold that on set was like, oh, like it's one of those things.
She's very picky about what she does anymore. You know, because she can be. So she doesn't do a ton anymore. So just having her in a show, that's a big deal.
Totally. And like it's kind of cool too, because like I guess so like Tarantino's doing the narration of our first episode.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's doing the narration of our first season. So we got QT doing like voiceover on like, I mean, the sheer fact of being in a frame with Uma Thurman and then possibly having Quentin Tarantino's voice over it is like,
that's pretty amazing.
I can deal with that. I don't know.
No, that's pretty. He didn't show up on set at any time, did he?
Oh, man, no, I couldn't handle that. I wouldn't be here right now. They would have me like, I would have exploded, I think. I don't know, man. I just wouldn't be able to deal with that. No. Yeah. But yeah, it was so cool. So like, and like she, I don't know, it was just so fascinating to see someone with her abilities just really kind of chew into something like that and like really kind of make it so specific. I don't know. As an actor, it was like really fantastic to watch. Because like, I mean, it's like I'm a actor nerd too. To see someone like process and stuff like that, it was such a learning experience, man.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I would be the exact same way, except I would never be in that position. So it's not an issue. Now, if Uma wants to come on the podcast, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd be okay. If we were in person, I'd probably struggle, but you know, through Zoom, I might be able to hold it up a little bit.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, we'll put that out there. Let's put that out there.
Put it out there. You never know. I've been lucky enough. I've got to talk to some amazing people, and you're one of those. I know that you're just, after this comes out, you know, watch out. That phone's going to be ringing off the hook.
Hey man, from your lips to whoever's ears, we'll see.
Although phones don't really ring off the hook anymore, but
don't you wish they did?
Yes.
Wouldn't that just make it a little bit more of an event?
I wish that we had these little devices that did everything that they do except be a phone. I like an old rotary phone.
I mean, when was it like? I just remember my parents had a rotary phone for like years after they were just like pointless. But like, I always was fascinated by it because it feels like you're doing something. It feels so important. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's an event.
I feel like I'm calling like the White House. You know what I mean? When I was doing that.
Yeah. When I was, this will date me. When I was growing up, we had a party line. So you probably don't even know what that is. So we shared a phone line with like all of our neighbors. So you would pick up the phone and there'd be other people talking on there, and you'd have to hang up and just wait for them to hang up. So you couldn't just pick up the phone and use it. You had to wait your turn.
Wait a minute. This is blowing my mind. I'm sorry. What? Really?
Yeah, it's called a party line. And we had these neighbors, these two older ladies, and they would be on there all day long talking with each other. And you'd eventually just have to break in and be like, I'm so sorry, but could I use the phone?
It's kind of an emergency. Can we okay.
I mean, back then, it's not like you could order pizza or anything. That stuff wasn't around. You had to go get your food from somewhere. You know, there was no delivery. So you didn't really use a phone for that. But occasionally, you might have to use a phone for something. You know?
Yeah, probably important. But like, you would have to wait for your neighbor to kind of get off the phone. Wow, I've never heard of this before. I'm literally gonna Wikipedia this afterwards.
Party line, check it out. And it was, it could get embarrassing. Like if they were talking and it was kind of interesting, and you didn't hang up immediately because you got kind of, that's kind of interesting. And then they're like, oh, I think somebody else is on the phone. They're like, oh no.
Oh my God. Oh, that could go so wrong.
Well, and it would, or you'd be calling, I was probably preteen, but old enough to where I was kind of interested in girls. You'd be calling a girl, and trying to have a conversation with a girl, and an older lady would come on the phone and say, could I use the phone? And just kind of interrupt your, it was awful.
Kill the vibe.
Killed the vibe.
Oh man.
Killed the vibe. Although this is off topic, but I have, said to my kids, they don't know pressure because they never had to call a girl's house and get through her dad or her mother to actually talk to her. Because now everybody has their own cell phone. Right. But back then, if you wanted to ask a girl out, you had to call and speak to their parents.
What would you even say? Be like, hi, is Lucy home or whatever? Like,
that's pretty much, that's it.
Oh God, the nerves. You're giving me anxiety.
I mean, think about how hard it is to work yourself up to ask somebody out, whoever it is. But then what if you call and their parents be like, she's not able to come to the phone right now.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Or she's not allowed. Sometimes she's not allowed to come to the phone right now. It's after 7 o'clock. No. You know, and they would just destroy you because you know, it's hard enough to build up enough courage to talk to her, but then have to talk to her parents is miserable.
Oh man, I could never do that. Like I'm I was never a guy who could like try to even ask a girl out at a bar. I'm super shy with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I can't even imagine trying to do that on the phone with like, Dad. No. Oh my God. We really have it easier, don't we? We have it so much easier.
Well, yes and no, because there's some oversharing that goes on now. Touche. Very true. Some of that nonsense wouldn't be going on if there was a parent, you know, protecting the gate.
Like when you were on the phone with the person on the phone, like so say you get to the girl you're asking out, are you afraid that the parents are listening? Like, do you have that in the back of your head?
Yeah. And I think sometimes they were. You had to be respectful. You could not, there was none of this flirting stuff going on, you know?
All of a sudden you hear this like ominous breathing in the back.
Yeah. You state your business and you get off the phone.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right.
Would you like to go to the skate arena at 7 o'clock tomorrow? Okay, I'll see you there.
Oh my God.
Back in my day, the skating rink was the big hangout. So,
man, what was the big hangout? I think the movie theater. We had a dollar movie theater in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah.
That was spot. Do they have those anymore? Dollar movie theaters?
If they do, they used to be all over the place, but I haven't seen one in forever.
That's a shame, man. That's basically where I got all the movies, like Terminator. That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm guessing if anywhere around, the pandemic probably killed those off.
Yeah, you're right.
That would be my guess. That's a shame.
It is a shame, man. That was the kids' like kind of gateway into just cinema in general, like a dollar movie, just throw in $1, see whatever.
Of course, Disney when I was going to the theater, on dates, it was $3 for the evening show. So you could go and get your popcorn, your drinks, for $10.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You can't even get like a straw for $10 nowadays.
No. And I thought that was too pricey. Like $10 is crazy.
Man.
One ticket costs $15 now.
It's insane. It's totally insane. And like, if you want a snack, like you basically should just go to a restaurant and eat something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You have to bring your own snacks.
Yeah. Wait, do you have a favorite snack?
I usually go with something with peanut butter, so like a Reese's Pieces, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Those are easy to carry in too.
Oh, you're right. That's right. Do you ever do like Reese's Pieces in like popcorn kind of thing?
Yes,
combo?
My son kind of turned me on to that. He was big with the M&Ms in the popcorn. So yeah. That's pretty good. I have, back in my day, we used to have a theater that was next to like a department store.
Yeah.
So I would go in the department store and I'd pay my quarter to get the big shopping bag. And then I would go into the mall and buy like a whole pizza and stick it down in the bag and then goes to the movies.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
A whole pizza. Oh.
Whole pizza. That was a good time.
I'd say so. Oh my God. You just pulling out a whole pizza. That's literally my two favorite things in the world. A movie, like a big movie screen, and the pizza right there.
And a pizza. Now you couldn't hide the smell though, because pizza smells pretty good. So if it was a crowded theater, you'd be getting some looks.
Really?
You're like, don't be looking at me because you didn't think of this.
You should be thanking me, in fact, for your next.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, okay. So a couple of things before we wrap up, because I'll talk to your ear off forever. So anything else besides Super Pumped that you have going on that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
A wedding, my wedding, but that's
congratulations.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
You don't want to miss you don't want to mess up with your scene partner. You need to keep her around. That's good.
True. That's very true. Yes. And yeah, that's basically it, man. After like we wrapped Super Pumped, it's just really been planning a wedding or helping. Like I wouldn't say she's doing most of the work because I'm probably just mess it up or will mess it up.
Yeah. Just stay out of that. Just do what she tells you. Don't, you know.
That's literally verbatim what I've been told most.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You know, even if you're asked your opinion, you just turn it back. Just be like, well, what do you think?
Well, what do you want to do? Yeah, oh my God, that's so right. That's so right. Okay, I can't do something. I'm more into character right now. Anyways,
are you doing an LA wedding or a New York wedding?
We're doing a New Mexico wedding.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, very nice.
We're gonna go to hometown area. It's gonna be great. Her family's gonna come on down. My family's gonna be there. It's gonna be fantastic. Yeah, I'm super excited. Like that's
what a year you're having.
It is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, for lack of a better word, dreamy. It's been a pretty.
Don't get depressed next year. You know, because it's gonna be tough to beat this one.
I mean, it's so. Like, tell me about it. I've been thinking about that. I'm like, everything's just gonna suck after this.
Yeah.
How can you compete? How?
It's going to be tough.
Like you hang out with Kyle Chandler, Uma Thurman, and JGL, and then you get married.
I mean, that's a year.
That's a pretty good year. I think I should just. Can you retire and just?
Yeah. You just need to just back away because then it's on your terms. I'm going out on top.
That's right. That's so right. I decided this. Doesn't matter. That's right. Yeah, man. But that's basically it. That's basically it.
Well, congratulations. That's terrific. Okay, so last thing is where can we find you on social media?
Oh, so I'm on Instagram, Babak Tafti. I'm on Twitter, Babak Tafti as well. I mean, yeah, I think that's it. That's what I'm on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. That's not bad. You got to do the social media thing. It's a
man. It's a thing. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like what is like Twitter to me is also the scariest place on earth. I have to say.
Oh my gosh, no! The scariest place is TikTok.
Oh, I haven't even stepped foot in TikTok yet because I'm just like, oh man, oh no.
I'm just kind of an observer. I'll go on and check out some of the stuff my son's doing and stuff, but it's a lot. It's really? A lot. Yeah. And Twitter, Twitter's so mean.
Twitter is very mean. I observe kind of like you're talking about with TikTok. Like I don't really do much except for maybe like repost about like a super pump thing or whatever, just all that kind of general stuff. But I do scroll and man, it is vicious. It is vicious.
Instagram, much nicer.
So much nicer. Like
just
I'll
pictures.
See your dog. Yeah. I'll see your dog all day. Little kitty, little cute baby, whatever, you know?
I feel like that's what social media was meant to be.
Oh my God.
It's nice. Sharing good moments. Nobody wants all the other stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's taken a whole new level. I'm just like, what? That's how addicted to it. That's the crazy thing. I just like, oh man.
But yeah, you can't help. You get sucked in. You can't help it.
It's kind of like the Jerry Springer show, just like in like written form. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh.
That's it. Yeah. Well, Babak, thank you so much. Did I get it right that time? Babak.
You got closer. Oh, you just said it.
Babak. I got it. I got it.
Oh,
it's getting better. See, it took me less time that time to get it.
I think, and you said it so clearly. I got to tell you, it's taken years for people to say it right. You just got it in like a matter of like an hour.
Yeah. That's because, I want to be your mediator and I can't be going in mispronouncing your name. That's embarrassing.
That's true. And you just sealed the deal. You got the job. 100%. There it is. There it is. Both created it and got it.
It's ridiculous how much trouble I have just pronouncing normal things. It's ridiculous. It's not the best for a podcaster. I'll tell you that. And you were very polite about it. I've only had a couple of times where I've had trouble pronouncing somebody's name, but I had this one just wonderful actress. She's just the best. She's so nice, but I kept messing up her last name. All right. So, and I knew I was messing it up. I just, how like you think so hard about it, and then when you try to do it, you screw it up because you're in your own head a little bit. So I said it wrong. She kind of laughed about it. So I tried again, and I was like, in my head, I was like, no, this is how. Yeah, I knew how to say it in my head. Said it again wrong, and she still, that's okay, that's okay. So I was like, no, I can get it. And then I just 3 or 4 or 5 times, and by the end of it, she was just like, you could tell, she was just like, who is this bozo? I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I promise I know how to say it it's in there.
What I appreciate is like, it's the actual like effort and like attempt to get it right. That's a big thing for me. Yeah, so that's what I appreciate, man. That's it. Like, it's not like you're trying. Yeah. It's like, I understand my name can be, it's tricky because it's not one that people see every day. Right. So like, it's got a different ring to it, but you very thankfully,
well, I appreciate that. But like I said, it's a very Hollywood name, so it's not going to be that uncommon much longer.
Hey man, once again, from your lips to whatever.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We need to get you in a superhero show.
Man, once again, from your lips to whatever.
I'll tell you the show. I'm going to tell you the show you need to be looking into. Okay. So my favorite, and then I'm going to let you go. So my favorite book series is The Wheel of Time. That's the show. You need to.
My fiance and I were just we like watched that the whole thing. Yeah. I haven't read the books, but like it's super like fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, the books are amazing, but they did a pretty good job with the. I was pretty pleased with it, just as a fan. But that's the one, man. You would fit right in there.
Oh, thank you. I would love to. Also, I hear they shoot in Budapest. So,
that's what I heard.
Like so yes, please. Take me there. I want to go there. Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to get through, there's like 15 books and they're like 1,000 pages each. So if they're going to get through that, it's going to have to go 6 or 7 seasons. So you've got a little time.
I got time. On my side. Okay. Oh man, Rosamund Pike, so good.
Oh man, yeah, she's amazing.
So good.
That was good casting.
Very good casting. Oh my god. Yeah. All right, I'll try. I'm going to try to do this. You put me onto it, I'm going to try to do it.
That's it. You need to get out there.
I want to come back and like say like, hey man.
Oh, you have to come back. Yeah, whatever you do, even if you just want to come back and tell me, how the wedding went, whatever you want to talk about, you come back.
Okay, great. Deal.
All right, enough. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get us paused. I hope you guys enjoyed that. What just a terrific gentleman. So Babak Tafti, just unbelievable. I had such a good time. Yeah, he was so gracious with my fumbling around with his name, and just so fun to talk to and talented. We were kind of joking around there, but I really have said to Emily, hey, we gotta get him on the show. And that was before, I heard what a terrific job he does on Super Pumped. And then when I heard that, I was like, I got to get moving and see if we can get him on the show. So I'm so happy that he agreed to come on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Super Pumped, February 27th, Showtime. It's a week from this coming Sunday. Make sure that you check that out. I think you'll really be impressed with the work that he's doing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. If you haven't done so yet, we can use the help on our YouTube channel, MeisterCon Pod. If you could subscribe, that would really help us out. You can find all 350 episodes, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, all that would be on the website, meistercon.com. So a couple of shows that we didn't mention that Babak is in is, he had a role on New Amsterdam, Elementary, Instinct, Quantico, Blue Bloods. I think that's all of them. I mean, he's been all over the place, and now he's getting to, showcase himself in more of a lead role. And I think he's going to do just amazing. Can't wait to see the show. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.